Good morning, YouTubers. Good morning, my 10 subscribers. Please spread the word, like and subscribe. Supposed to get that one in as a professional, aren't you? It's roughly 5:45. Kind of lost my voice after a really good night out with old friends on Saturday, and you know who you are. Hopefully eventually they'll subscribe to this little channel of mine. Well, this pitiful excuse for a human being that has inflicted life-changing injuries on a woman and child. Well, I hope they catch him. I hope maybe he severely injures himself even more than he already has. That's a good thing. Apparently he has extreme facial burns already. Oh dear. Whoops. But what horrifies me is the idea that people are helping him. What is wrong with you? Why would you help this why would you help this filthy piece of shit? I don't get it. Surely people should be taking action the other way. If they see him and there's enough of them to safely stop him and make sure that the police can get him, you know, I don't care, kneecap him. That might be amusing. But, you know, anyway, actively restrain him and make sure he gets arrested by the proper authorities and sent to trial. What drives a human... I mean, I don't know. I don't think we do know many of the details yet. But what twisted hatred drives a human being to do that? And there'll be a lot being thrown around the press and social media about where he comes from, and because people are so judgmental, aren't they? Well, yes. Being judgmental is part of being a human being, I'm afraid. If our ancestors weren't judgmental, if our ancestors hadn't judged, oh, look, that twitchy, stripy vine across the path, I judge, from my experience, that it would be a bad idea to try and pick that up, because there's usually a fecking tiger on the end of it. That's a judgment call. Because that person had heard, or possibly experienced and luckily survived, that happening before. And we are entitled as human beings to make informed judgments about situations. I mean, a lot of people think I make snap judgments. My brain just works at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm a very quick study, they call it. You know, I'll look at someone and know. Right. And I was talking about this with my partner, and, you know, I hope this is true, in that I make very quick, informed judgments, and, excuse me, bad throat. That's why I'm sucking on a Jakeman's. No sponsorship, but if they want to. I'm smoking as well. That's if I can figure out where I put lemon tobacco. Ah, got it. But yeah, it's rather too warm here by the fire. All nice and cosy. Fireside Chat, I shall call this one, I think. Technical issues. Can't remember which switch. Ah, that's better. See, now I've got the fire effect without the heat, which is nice. What else was there? Yeah, we went to PetSmart yesterday evening. My partner is setting up a fish tank again. She wants cold water fish because they're a bit easier than the tropical. It's a good start for her. Having earlier on this year suffered the bereavement of a much beloved pet, she wants to ease herself back into it, as it were. And it's a good place to start. It's not that I wasn't upset about our dwarf lionhead Elsie's death. I deal with these things in a different way to a lot of people. I don't have a fear of death myself. So I don't handle grief in the same way as a lot. Everybody handles things differently, is what I'm saying. But yeah, anywho, PetSmart. Went down there to get a spare light because the fluorescent light was gone. No spares. They'd much rather you buy a brand new fish tank than buy a spare light. Yeah, we'll probably go to Viking because they'll have spares. Because yet again, Pets at Home. No, it's Pets at Home, isn't it? Well, they're not sponsoring me. They're commercial. Their whole goal is to get you to buy more useless stuff that you don't really need. At the end of the day, yeah, the animals seem well looked after. The stock that they've got is relatively cheap in comparison to, say, a lot of the private. But really, all I'm saying is at the end of the day, it's a commercial large operation. So they ain't going to care that much, are they? That's a fact. You know, like my bank. Hello, Barclays. They won't be sponsoring me either. We as individuals especially poor working class individuals like myself, we don't get a lot of say in things, and many poor working class individuals, or those even less than the working class, have just given up trying. It is what it is. My mother always says, because she's so set in her ways. I'm going to visit her later, so she'll probably say this about something I go on about. It's something that people have said to themselves for generations, as they accept the way they're treated by those in power. Potent. Hopefully it's having a little bit of an effect on my voice, so. I think my friends where I volunteer were quite relieved. Mind you, even me whispering carries across the room. I can't help it. I am what I am. Where was I? Yeah. It's something that the older generation especially, older than me, have always told themselves, you know. Off camera. Have I got snot in my bed? No. Well, it's something they've always told themselves. So they keep putting up with the shit that those above them drop on them. It's inbred deference. Although I may be from Suffolk, but I'm not inbred. My father was definitely not from Suffolk. Mum's family are. His, no, quite eclectic. His father was RAF. So they moved about a lot. And, fact is, when he was at boarding school, we found out, well, he did actually talk about it 20, 30 years ago. He, excuse me, I think I'll have I drink coffee and know things. About after 6 o'clock in the evening, I drink wine. Second coffee of the morning. Cheers. Oh, we're about 12. I might go on for another 8 minutes. They say you should keep them down to below 10 minutes, but I like to go for about 20 because I'm different. So yeah, she annoys me. Father, sorry, I was dodging the subject. At one boarding school, he had a suicide attempt. I think because they moved schools a lot, he was a very lonely child. And this was why, although he made an effort, he didn't make the best father. He wasn't a terrible father. He just had very limited patience and very little in the way of communication skills. I speculated that he may well have been on the autistic spectrum himself. But he was the kind of man who would never have admitted to it. Hell, he wouldn't even tell me when I was in my 20s how much he earned. It's a private matter. And my mother, bless her, she coped with the way he was by deferring to it, basically. That's the thing my mother has done all her life. My mother, even before the early stages of dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever it is, set in, she would defer to whatever was going on around her. Something that grinds my gears. Don't bow down just because you presume that your betters know more. They don't, many of them. Many of them are absolutely bloody stupid. You can have a degree and still be an idiot. Likewise, you can be like me. I've got 8 GCSEs. I attempted A-levels, failed them because I couldn't concentrate. I attempted a university degree, and I'm very grateful for my time at Essex University. No, they aren't sponsoring me either. But nor is Zippo. But so I've got nothing much in the way of qualifications. So on paper, I look like a bog standard working class piece of shit. That's why I've never really got anywhere when it comes to, I don't apply for conventional jobs anymore. I've had enough of that. Can't do it. Oh, but maybe if you found the right place. Ain't got time. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. Well, not if you're me. Sponsored by Nescafe. Not really, no, not sponsored by Nescafe. But I do like my coffee in the mornings. And me smokes. Well, this is just a stream of consciousness, really. I will try and sort out some more stuff in the house. Mum has said she's going to help with contributing towards one thing I need for getting back into reenactment. And that is, I did sell my sword because I needed the money at the time. I really regret that. Somehow it felt like a betrayal of my ideals as a warrior. Something which I do take far too seriously at times. Silly old sod. But I think having those core, my father instilled those core ideas in me, and I'm very grateful for that. My father and my reading material as a child, Arthurian myth, Greek myth. Maybe that's why the Greek myth, maybe that's why I'm such a massive pervert. Hi, I'm Zeus. I will change it to a golden shower. Baby. Not original material. I think Eddie Izzard did something like that. And Jacobs. I know I'll put some more of them. Not sponsored. And Tolkien. And Tolkien for me was all about hope. The idea that no matter how bleak the world around you seems, no matter how lost, no matter how much you feel like giving up, don't, people. It's hard, I know. Life will stamp on your face and kick you to the ground time and time and time again. All you, as an individual, can do is spend as much time as you need just laying there thinking, oh, bloody hell, ow, that hurt. But when you feel like you can, pick yourself up, keep on moving to whatever your destination is, but finding a destination. That's the most important thing. Whether it's like Scott Scribbles Hawkins, shout out to you, mate, travelling the world. Whether it's like, I don't know, Daedra, the Polish cosplay stroke alt model, who does some fantastic work, by the way. I can recommend her for both ladies and gentlemen. Daedra as in Oblivion, as in Skyrim. I follow her on Facebook and Instagram. She's got a sense of humour. I do like her. I'm kind of plugging her, She took some photos in the Bieszczany Mountains or something in Poland, which, by the way, a beautiful location, kind of medieval inspired with vales and stuff. And I commented that it looked a bit like the Highlands of Scotland, an area of our country that I do love. And she replied with, "Yeah, but we have trees here." I thought that was good. She's smart. She's good looking, but she's also smart. She has a personality. And you meet people who outwardly they seem glamorous and nice, but you get a feeling from them, and I do. Like I said, I'm a quick study of people. Some of them, they come across as very hollow. I hope I don't come across like that. I do doubt myself on a lot of occasions. It's important to have self-doubt. If you don't, you come across as arrogant, which I have in my time. But many people, there's the flip side. Many people who are empty will see self-confidence as arrogance and nothing else. Like, I recently, I would give a shout out, but I'm not sure that this was the right circumstances to do it. But I volunteer somewhere, and there is a meeting of middle class, environmentally concerned people. And I'm concerned with the environment. I'll give you an example. I mean, many of you who are following will know this already. And any more people should subscribe and like. I'm pushing this. You gotta push it. I need to get up to 50, so I'm a fifth of the way there. That's my goal at the moment. But brain, hang on. Yeah, it was founded by this very middle class, short cropped grey hair, very stern, very domineering and controlling lady, who underneath her environmental views has views quite stereotypical of her class, I think. In the first week, I actively engaged and participated too much. And this really rubbed her up the wrong way because it was her little baby. And she didn't like this brash, working class, alternative individual. You could just tell by her face. Coming in and making points that, while relevant, weren't really on topic, I must admit. Because they're all about actively changing middle class and upper attitude towards the environment. They don't give a shit about the working class, as many people who are middle class don't. They just pass us off as mere ignorant pricks, basically. And a lot of working class people are. They judge that for a reason. I see it every day. And this week, I sat there and didn't actively engage, just let her carry on with controlling the group and didn't say a word. One or two of them, when they left, they were there for a few hours, but I didn't. I nodded and acknowledged. Passed around the donations because they donate to use of the space. Other than that, no, I didn't bother. And there was something she said, I forget what the subject matter was. She was, and back in the day when we smashed China. And I thought, does she yearn for the old days of the British Empire or something? And one of the guys who's much more, he seems to like me. Not that he'd get in the way of the leader, you know what I mean? Yeah. Dominance, friction. He caught my eye and I was smirking behind her back. I think she might have seen me in the mirror, but she didn't say a word. She might not have been. She doesn't seem to be the kind of person who reads a room very well or actively engages. Doesn't seem to be, but she might be. He caught my eye, could see me smirking and raising my eyebrows at that comment, and he was trying actively not to smile himself. And, you know, him and a few others nodded politely to me as they left, but the leader, she completely ignored me. I wasn't there as far as she was concerned. And I'm perfectly happy with that. She's entitled to her opinion on me. She's wrong. I get a chip on my shoulder when I get treated like an idiot by people who earn more money or have more privilege than myself, which means I get a chip on my shoulder around a lot of people. Let's face it, I live on about 100 quid a month. I mean, Michelle keeps a roof over our heads. She does a very good job, very draining job, which is why I'm out of the house a lot, to give her the time she needs to recharge. We're coming up to nearly 28 minutes. I know I've gone on, haven't I? But, you know, I like changing people's judgments and opinions. I'm a questioner of the ways. I want people to look at their opinions and judgments and make sure they're the right ones. You can't, not every person from a working class background is an ignorant potato. Not every person with a degree is a genius. Degrees aren't about intelligence. They're about the ability to get your head down and study. People of average intelligence can pass degrees. I mean, I went to university with someone who was, I think, going on to do a doctorate in computer science. He got confused between the water and oil in his car and buggered his engine. Idiot, in a lot of ways. But knew what he was doing around a computer. Anyway, one of the points of this random lecture is, yeah, judge people. Bit blurry. But make sure those are informed judgments. Perhaps you'll have to take more time than I do with my big spinny brain. Big brain. Ooh, like you're so arrogant. But judging is, when done right, is healthy. what this lady who is in charge of this group, the environmental group, her judgments are not necessarily healthy. She thinks they are. And she's right about several things in the environment. Oh, don't get me wrong. I think she's actively doing a good thing. Because apart from anything else, it's the middle and upper class vote that can change things. Working class, not so much. But eventually they're going to have to address issues of the working class. We're over 30, so I'll end it on one more note, and that'll be it. But eventually, you're going to have to engage with the working class on these issues. Or they're just going to be left behind more than they have been already. I do this myself. For example, outside where I volunteer, there is a statue of a famous person with some flower beds. It's a very pretty, quite posh area of town. And I sat there. And no, I was stood there having a smoke. And 4 teenagers, 2 boys, 2 girls walked past. One of the boys dropped a Costa coffee cup. Coffee cup. A coffee cup. Is that when he gets a bit over exuberant, you know? A coffee cup. He drops a Costa coffee cup. Not sponsored. Right by the statue. His girlfriend, I presume, or prospective girlfriend, is like, pick it up. He grins at her, picks it up and chucks it in the flower bed. I stroll over, they notice, I pick it up. I look directly at him and I say, it's all right, I'll do your job for you, you little, see you next Tuesday. And the lot of them just look at me and kind of like quickly look down and then walk away. I'd like to think he'll remember the humiliation he felt. And maybe 5-10% chance it'll make him change his opinion. Make him realise that is not a good thing to do. Maybe little chance, tiny chance. I often pick up cans and litter in my local area or even in town and actively hope that people see me doing it and think. Many won't. Many are too absorbed in themselves to think about that. But there's a small chance. I want to make a difference with my life. Even if it's a small one, I want to make a difference to other people's lives. It's important. As many people who do know me know, I'm very Norse pagan in my worldview. And, you know, cattle die, kindred die. Even gold eventually loses its luster. Well, that's not true, really, is it? But the great name, to be remembered, means you live forever. You know, like Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great. These people who we still talk about 2,000-3,000 years later. My beliefs and ideals aren't that lofty, you know. But as long as for a few generations, I mean, I'm not going to have kids, probably. It's not on the cards. Yeah, that does sadden me a little, but that's another thing. But to have my name remembered for a few generations as someone who actively tried to change the world in small way, positive ways, that is my hope for. I think that's all any of us can hope for, really. Feel free to recommend this to other people if this is your cup of tea. Keep on liking and subscribing. My goal is to get to 50 so I can live stream. Okay, thank you very much for your support so far, and I hope I didn't go on too long. Thank you. Peace. And a smoke. Ta.